Hi, welcome. It's Jill and Jez here again, and we've been doing some live crafting over on our Facebook group, Come Crafting with Jill and Jez, and we each cased a project from each other, and we've split our videos into two. So you might have already seen Jill case one of my projects, which was a gift box, and lovely. And in this video, I case one of Jill's very bright, clean and simple cards, and so I case this card but make it very different. So let's see how we do. Fabulous. So there we are. I'm down. Look at my nameplate I made.
Yeah,
in my favorite colours.
Nice.
Right then, so I can see that I'm in. So I'm going to make this. So Jill's made this a few times, and this was last Christmas's, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And she made a similar one the Christmas before, and every time I look at it I think I'm going to do that. It's so lovely. I'm going to change it completely. I'm going to turn it into a birthday card, and I just wanted to show that this style you could use with any punch that's about that sort of size. So I'm going to do it this time with the balloon punch, and I'm just going to use the largest balloon. That's similar-ish size, it's slightly smaller, and I'm going to obviously put a happy birthday sentiment on it. I'm going to go with bright colours, and I'm going to go with the current in colours. I thought they would look quite nice. I'm going to use the one I dislike the most. Well, I don't dislike it the most, but I'm using Magenta Madness as the sort of the base of it. But obviously you could change these colours and they would work with, you know, whether you're going to send it to a boy or a girl. Because I thought this would be a nice kiddie card. So I've got a normal card base here. This is our thick Whisper White, which Jill was saying about using thick very vanilla and it being lovely. And I use them for card bases. And so I've got my normal matte size, which is just a 1/4 of an inch shorter and thinner. So the card base is 5 7/8 by 4 1/8. So I cut this to 5 5/8 and 3 7/8, and then I do a double mat. So then that one gets cut down to 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. And it's taken me years to remember that. That's not written down anywhere, that's just in my head. And I like to be a bit frugal with my card mat. You're not going to see the middle of that. So I'm using the happy birthday dies from Well Written to get the happy birthday. So I've just die cut them out of the middle of this, because you're not going to
It's a really good idea. I never do that. I'm so wasteful with cardstock.
Well, I'm just tight.
Yeah. No, it's a good idea because it's not cheap, our cards. I mean, it's lovely, but it's not cheap. So if you can reuse it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sometimes I'll sort of gut it completely, but you know, I could get some
I've tried gutting it completely, but I always get a bit of a ridge, or you can vaguely see a shadow through it. I don't like doing that, but just cutting the words out when you're going to plonk something on top of it anyway would be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's sort of the basic sort of setup, and we're going to have sort of happy birthday going along the bottom, kind of just fits in. And then I want balloons. So where Jill has done it with trees, I'm going to do it with balloons. Now this is a stamp and a punch that match, so you could do it if you had those. We don't currently, I don't think, have a stamp that goes with the balloon. We used to, but I'm just going to cut them anyway. Now it's a double punch, but you can just feed it in the one side so that you're not wasting card again. So I'm just going to do one of each. I was going to do them all with the circles, but I haven't got enough paper left over in all the circles, so I'm going to do 2 in the circle and then 3 in something else. I think I was frantically looking whilst you were
Yeah,
whilst
yeah.
you were
I would
crafting.
like it noted that usually I'm the one that's really disorganised, and Jez is really organised. And today, I was the one that had their project ready, and Jez, 2 minutes before we came online, was still thinking about what she was going to do.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
like that noted today.
It was my birthday. I have been busy. So these ones are going to have to be out of this one.
Wood
But
grain.
I don't think that matters. But I've virtually used my whole packet of.
Yeah,
I
I've used
didn't.
loads of that paper. Loads of it.
That one I haven't punched very well. I
Sometimes
don't
it's
know what
because
I'm
it's
doing
too
wrong.
close to the edge, I think. Sometimes you don't get enough tension on the punch if it's too
Yeah.
close to the edge.
I'll ditch that one so I don't end up using it. So yeah, so really quick with a punch. This is a really sort of quick card, I say, and it didn't take much to die cut the words either. So then it's just a matter of deciding which way round I want to do it. Jill's put the middle one is the one that matches the cardstock that's gone underneath, which I think is a good idea. So I'm going to do that. And then these ones sort of match, so they'll go that way, and then these two on top in the front.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah, these colours do go well together. I'm going to move them up a bit because I need to fit in me happy birthday.
Oh, Anthony's saying playful alphabet is on his wish list, so that must be your Nigezza. He's seeing there.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
good that alphabet. Yeah,
I do like it. I do like it, and I like. I mean, I've got the large letters from years ago, and they're quite big, so you're kind of limited to how many would go across a card.
Yeah.
So my sister actually used them. We got together the Halloween weekend, and she did a card I made a few years ago where I used the silhouette effect, and a friend had 4 letters in her name, so
yeah, that's all right.
so that works.
Yeah. They're still not as nice as the large letters that we had a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I do. As I say, I do.
Have you
quite
thrown
like
away the dot on the eye?
Yeah, I always do. I always do. And what I do is I like to stick a gem for the eye.
Okay.
So I've got. So I'm doing that. I haven't. It was a deliberate thing because normally I put a gem for that.
Not like me then. I'm always throwing the dot away and then having to die cut another one to remember to get to save the dot.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my happy birthday on first, so I know how much room I've got. And Jill does quilling, and she uses a cocktail stick when doing little like that. I've got one of these little glue pots, and I bought these in like a pack of 10 for not very much money, and it's got a really fine needle.
I have got one of those as well. I do use one of those a lot for quilling, but for doing fine die cuts, I quite like just sort of rolling a cocktail stick and spreading the glue out quite finely. We all have our little ways, don't we? Way making it work.
We do. I like this as well because it does actually stop me using too much glue. And with Jumbo, you don't need much because it's so strong.
Yeah, Anthony's saying that pesky dot. Yeah, absolutely. And I never remember when I'm die cutting. I never remember till I go to stick it down and think, oh God. And I can't tell you how much it annoys me when I see somebody who's done a project and not put a dot on the eye.
Oh no, I always put the dot, but I do it.
Yeah, actually, if I had the markers, you could just draw a little dot on, couldn't you? Mostly, depending on what you're sticking it on. If you're sticking it on Whisper White, you could easily just draw a dot. But I haven't got those markers, so.
No, I haven't. I normally buy the in colour markers, but I haven't yet. I haven't got the ones for the you know, the other in colours.
No. I don't tend to use my markers now that we've got blends.
I use them for stamping with, so I quite like to stamp different colours.
Now what's Ewan saying? Got a comment here. Hang on a sec. I keep disappearing on my iPad. Just finished my Snowflake Splendor style gift box. Can't decide what I should go with for the card. I don't have the balloons.
Well, if you got the snowflake dies, my other thought was to do it with rainbow snowflakes.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That was another thought I had. There we go. So I've done that. So now I'm going to stick my balloons on so I can see now where they need to go.
What glue do you have in your little glue pot?
Tombow.
You just transfer Tombow into it.
Yep. That's why it's coloured green.
Yeah.
So I've got different ones in them. So that one's coloured a different colour because that's got tacky glue in it that comes up that colour. And then this one is just clear. So that's another glue I use. So I use different glues for different things.
I use different glue for quilling because it's very bad form with quilling to see any glue marks. So you have to be really careful with the glue that you use and use tiny amounts. Oh, Karen's saying she's gone with the gleaming punches. So a card to match the box. Oh, what a good idea, Karen. Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, and baubles.
Yeah. No, well, my box has got baubles on it.
Yeah, fabulous. Right, so I'm gonna space that out a little bit. I'm trying to get the same space between
Anthony says, tidying my craft drawers as I'm watching. Surprising how much mess one person can make. We've all been there. Yeah. We've all been there. And
should have seen the state of my desk 2 minutes before I came on.
I've tried to have a New Year's resolution at the beginning of November, a new month resolution. That I had to tidy my desk every night before I went to bed, so that I came down to a clean desk every morning, and it lasted about 3 days, and then hopeless.
I must admit, there was one time when I tidied. I think it was before the last live that we did, and I tidied my desk, and it was, I remember walking into the craft room the next morning and it was like, oh, I've got a tidy desk. How did that happen? I actually forgot.
It's so nice to come down in the morning and my desk is tidy and I can start work straight away without thinking, oh, where's that?
Yeah. So I'm going to put these up on dimension.
Donya's saying that she likes my box or your box or the box.
The box.
The box. That works really well.
Yeah, I did some crafting yesterday because it was my birthday, and I actually found myself putting away as I went along.
Doing a Sam.
Now I've got to decide: do I want the yellow next to the cinnamon cider and the blue next to the green, or the other way around?
Oh, Don, you missed the start of the live. There is a video on Jezza's channel if you want to watch the whole thing, or this video will be up at some point. We will put this video up on YouTube so you can watch later.
So which way around?
Oh, do it the other way again. I don't think it really. Actually, the other way. I don't like the yellow next to the brown. I think the other way. I think it has to be that way. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they're too similar otherwise, aren't they, really? So put that one on there.
The comments on my iPad are driving me nuts. They won't stay on.
I might come down a little bit as well.
Anthony's saying he usually waits for the SU fairy to clear up, but it doesn't often work.
Have you seen that thing on Facebook where this woman is obviously their partners, and she's about to tidy something up and he says, no, don't do it. He says, wait, watch. And he says, I leave things on the table and then by magic they get cleared away. And obviously she's doing it. She's just looking at him going, are you serious?
Magic fairies come.
Yes.
My son has just moved into this flat. And I spoke to him last night and I said, what have you been doing? He said, it seems like I just wash up.
Yeah,
So
well
they
done to
haven't
our
got a
Will.
dishwasher, and of course before, when he was here, he'd just, you know, have something to leave it on the side. It wouldn't even make it into the dishwasher, yet about, you know, whatever. And now he's realizing how much washing up just two of them can generate. And he's not working, and so his girlfriend's working, so it's down to him. When we arrived, we went to see him just before lockdown last week, and he greeted us with, "I've just finished hoovering the stairs." And I was like, words I never thought I'd hear Joe say.
Yeah. Well, we don't have a dishwasher.
Oh.
And there was one year we went to Center Parks, and we'd upgraded from the normal one, and it had a dishwasher, and it was like, well, that'll be redundant. So much for the upgrade. And my eldest went, "Oh, it's all right. I know how to use a dishwasher. We've got one in my student house." So it was like, "Oh, great. So that's your job for the holiday then, is to."
Don't you think students have it a bit cushy these days? I mean, when my girls went, they had their own room with an ensuite. When I went to college, I shared in halls. I shared a room along a corridor. We had a sink in our rooms. We didn't have an ensuite. And we had two baths and two loos at the end of the corridor. And there were 8 of us on the corridor. So there were 2 baths and 2 loos for all of us to share. I can't, still to this day, don't know how we managed. I mean, but I just think that now they expect, you know, they won't have anything less than their own room with an ensuite. I just think.
Sweet, I know. Well, when I was a student nurse and I lived in the nurses' home, we had, well, there must have been about 20 of us on a corridor. And we had, the baths were like you would go into a public toilet with rows. And there was rows of baths as well. And you just had a little plywood door. I hated it. I hated having a bath.
There's no choice though. Weren't any showers.
No, that's right. I had to do it.
That's really nice. But like that.
There we are.
Like that.
That's my case. My case of that.
Val says my dishwasher is my husband, but like all things, it needs booting up sometimes.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Ed does most of the washing up in this house. So there we are. So I'll come back on.
Yep.
So thank you for joining us. I hope you liked that project and feel like making it yourselves. And as I said, you can do it with all sorts of punches or die cuts and change the effect. And if you haven't already watched Jill casing my gift box, then please do go and have a look at that. And if you'd like to see the entire video with all our little chatter, then pop along to our Facebook group, Come Crafting with Jill and Jez, and join in the fun.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.